Hi, I'm Julieth Murcia, student of the program Master Teacher in English at St. Mary's College. And today I'm going to talk to you about a topic that most of the time is not very clear when you graduate from high school: how to choose a professional degree and how English can change our lives. Now let's talk about what it means to be a bilingual person. Being a bilingual person in theory means to be able to speak two languages fluently, in this case, Spanish and English. But more than what it is, it's about what it means in our lives and all the benefits this brings to you as a high school student or just graduated from it. So here are some benefits of being a bilingual person. For all the students, bilingual learning means higher cognitive function, better grades, greater learning proficiency, and higher graduation and college enrollment rates. Acquiring a language is an active skill, and the students benefit from it from all the active participation they can do in the classroom. Therefore, with this in mind, you can see that English brings you quite a lot of advantages from other students or the rest of people around you. Now let's talk about the difference between a basic and an advanced English level. All languages are based on the Common European Framework (CEF). The parameters to qualify English level from beginner, intermediate, pre-intermediate, intermediate, upper intermediate, advanced intermediate, and advanced. English is cataloged as one of the easiest languages to learn. For this reason, you have to know your real level in order to know where to start. Okay, beginner. This means that you haven't had any contact with the language or you have had but passively. A1, elementary. This means that you can understand basic phrases and have a conversation in a simple way. A1, pre-intermediate. This means that you can have the general idea of what others are telling you, but you still have some difficulties. However, you can interact and have a conversation of personal interest. A2, intermediate. This means you can interact and be spontaneous, but you have problems with grammar and vocabulary. B1, upper intermediate. This means you can understand everyday language, but you still have some grammar and vocabulary errors, but you can speak effortlessly. B2, advanced intermediate. This means you can understand almost everything others are telling you, including idiomatic expressions and compose complex text. You can have use the language for professional or social use. C1, advanced. This means you develop all your communicative skills in the language in an almost natural way, adapting and understanding the different accents and idioms. Therefore, with this information, you can see that the difference between a basic or intermediate level from an advanced one is huge. In addition, when you have an advanced level in the language, the communication, text production, active listening, and reading complex text is way easier than when you have a basic one. Professional degree. I'm not an expert on professional orientation, however, I'm going to tell you my experience doing the research for this video. Since I was a child, I always liked the veterinary degree. As I was growing up, I became interested in careers such as criminology and other areas of health and administrative departments. As these are very different degrees, I began to do professional tasks, search for careers that have a big possibility to disappear in the future, and other careers that will have a big possibility to grow and project themselves in the future. I review the professional profile of these careers that I personally like or that I'm interested in, and the careers that I chose were criminology and criminalistics. From my point of view, these are pretty good choices in this moment as a professional degree. So let's talk about criminology and criminalistics. The first thing we have to understand is that although some people confuse them or think they are the same, they are not the same. Actually, they are two different degrees. Of course, they are related and have some aspects in common, but what they are focused on are different aspects. So let's start with criminology. The concept of criminology. Criminology is the study of crime from a social perspective. including who commits the crimes, what they commit the crimes, their impact, and how to prevent them. So, what is criminology? Criminology is a branch of sociology which traditionally studies human behavior, interaction, and organization. However, this ties in a lot of research and concepts of other areas of study, such as philosophy, archaeology, biology, and physiology. To study not only the causes, but the impact and social roots as well. The end goal of criminology is to determine social roots on criminal behavior and develop effective and humane means to prevent it. This has produced several schools of thought within the discipline, having different factors of debit and behavior and getting to different conclusions of how to is the best approach to give a solution to these issues. The field of criminology can also give improvements to the criminal justice system, having a response and treatment to both victims and criminals. Also, this has brought advancements to the police tactics and practice, such as oriented community policing. As a criminologist, I will conduct research to determine what causes an individual to commit crimes and how those illegal activities affect the victim and society. I will use the results of my research to formulate a theory about crime prevention and proper methods of criminal rehabilitation. This field is interdisciplinary, combining criminal justice, sociology, and psychology. This will develop an understanding of human behavior and how to prevent, analyze, and predict these kind of criminal acts. So, how criminology works? In a sense, criminologists examine every conceivable aspect of the delinquent behavior. That includes the impacts of crime in society, in individual victims, and even in the criminals themselves. So, some specific areas that criminology works on are frequency of crimes, location of crimes, causes of crimes, types of crimes, how social and individual consequences of crimes, how social groups react to crimes, individual reaction to crimes, and governmental reaction to crimes. Criminologists conduct research and analyze data to help understand, determine, and prevent crimes. They also develop theories based on their research to conduct and help translate the data into action. Some criminologists also evaluate, develop, and implement criminal justice policies and procedures. So, what type of education do I need to become a criminologist? In order for me to become a criminologist, I usually pursue a minimum of a master's degree in the field. You could start with a bachelor degree in criminology, sociology, and psychology. Criminologists also need to understand law enforcement procedures, so I might take a criminal justice course as well. Many programs incorporate internships to provide related work experience. Graduate programs emphasize in experience, design, and results analysis. So you most likely, it will be good for you to take courses in research, methods, and statistics. Those who are interested in conducting advanced research or teaching at the college way or level, you may choose to pursue a doctoral degree. So, what are others related careers with criminologists? So, criminologists lend themselves to professions within the realm of research, so many times related with fields that's been within the area of statistics as well. So, other related professional careers include economics, political science, psychologists, and social workers. All of these professions lend a master's degree. People going into these fields specifically will work closely with information in numbers and study them to find patterns, to make predictions based on answers found in the statistics. So psychologists and social workers study behavior based on work with clients and help with emotional issues and cognitive behavior. Criminologist job responsibilities and duties. What will you have to do if you were a criminologist? You will work closely with law enforcement officers and lab technicians. You will also gather evidence, analyze and organize data from the crime scene. You will use the appropriate equipment and methods to assess crime scene data also. You will study social and psychological factors related with the crime, and you will do documents and present research findings. So this is basically what would you have to do if you were a criminologist. Now let's see the job requirements. So you will be required to have a bachelor's degree in criminology, sociology, or a related field. A minimum of 2 years of work um, experience in a similar field. Certification or license of practice criminology is required. To have a good research and communication skills, so it will be way easier. Analytical and critical thinking, detail oriented also, and proficient with relevant hardware and software. So now that we see all the requirements, let's see a job overview, all the possibilities of job that you can get. So in a criminologist work, in this case me, I will be assigned to investigate crime scenes, performing autopsies and gathering data. I will also attempt to determine the motive or important or external factors related with the case. Success in this role will be determined by my ability to collect and process the crime scene data that I can get from the crime scene, of course, and that will contribute to solve the cases in an efficient manner. So now we're gonna see all the jobs related with criminology. So we have criminal defense attorney, criminal investigator, criminal profiler, criminal prosecutor, criminologist, criminology professor or researcher, city administrator, correctional officer, detective, field investigator, fire inspector, forensic psychologist, investigative reporter, investigative analysis, internal affairs investigator, police officer, loss prevention specialist, manager of an investigations unit, paralegal, parole officer, policy analyst, private investigator, and social worker. One of the most overlooked placement areas for criminology graduates is within insurance companies. State Garci Giulmirati, Chief Legal Officer and Corporate Secretary with Florida Peninsula Holdings, wrote in an email. So, what pursue a career in criminology? Careers in criminology are pretty diverse, each one requiring its own set of skills. In general, criminology professionals need to have an exceptional verbal and writing communication skills. Their work often requires them to explain difficult theories, policies, and research findings to government officials, law enforcement, the press, or even the public. So criminology professionals must also develop ethical leadership skills and the ability to work effectively in time-sensitive and high-stress situations. Critical analysis is another important competence. This gives them the ability to draw actionable conclusions from the data and come up with solutions to administrative and forensic challenges. Okay, now let's talk about an average salary of a criminologist. Based on the information that I could find on the internet and other sources, there is not a specific job for criminologists in Colombia. Therefore, the closest information that I could find was in Mexico. In this moment, there are not a big quantity of jobs related with this professional. However, it is expected that in the future the number of jobs and salaries increase for criminologists and investigators. In this order of ideas, the places where you could get a job will be like the Procuraduría General de la República, PGR, or the state representations in Mexico, as well as in another police departments, mainly in big cities where these services might be required, or the FBI in the United States, where you can find more job opportunities with salaries even 5 times bigger than in countries in Latin America. Okay, now let's talk about criminalistic. So, criminalist is a term that includes several jobs within the forensic science field. Okay, criminalists examine physical evidence and create links between the scene, the victim, and the criminal itself. Criminals are sometimes referred as lab techs or crime scene investigators, CSI as we commonly know them. Criminalists work at labs in local states or federal law agencies. It's more common that we can find it in the United States. In rural areas, like the agencies who have less forensic resources may send the evidence to a state with a big agent that can evaluate all the evidence that they are sending, of course. Criminalists with experience or a master's degree may advance to the administrative positions. So, what is criminalistics? Criminalistics use scientific and investigative methods to deduce how a particular crime took place, and today criminals use modern tools like 3D imaging and DNA sequencing to help law enforcement. Okay, so building up a method to use that were used hundreds of years ago, but with new technology. So according to the fingerprints of the United States Department of Justice, around 2021 before Christ, the Chinese used fingerprints and handprints to identify documents using clay imprints, which was the first known instance of the fingerprint. Okay, so today criminalistics has a variety of roles, of course. Some visit the crime scene, some others gather the evidence, some others stay at the labs and analyze all the evidence that the others send them to analyze everything and see what they can find, of course. It can be a satisfying career when you find with law enforcement and the juridical system, we can call it that way, and you kind of work together and find the people, the criminals, and all the situation is resolved. And you have various tools and they acquire knowledge to gather evidence to solve the crimes. So criminalist careers are in high demand. Granted, the popularity shows that CSI, Law and Order, and both run forensic science into the mainstream skills in the United States. has also like noted an uptick in demand from 2019 to 2029. Forensic science technicians who share the similar occupational title to criminalistics have a projection to grow by a 14%, a rate that is faster than an average of all occupation at 5%. So we can see that it's a very important like degree and profession itself, but because you can like do a lot of things and you need a lot of skill to study this kind of like profession. Okay, criminalist. All their knowledge in forensic science and criminology also allows them to go through all the evidence and determine what evidence should be collected and how it should be collected. Okay, so once they find that evidence, they will research it on it, or they may choose to send it to other state crime labs to have like further evaluation. Okay, they draw sketches and take photos of the crime scene with some evidence and all the evidence they can get. They may collect bodily fluids, weapons, and fingerprints, between others. They also work with DNA to find like further evidence. Criminalists often consult with experts in a specific branch of criminalistics. Of course, this could be like toxicology and odontology, for example. Criminalists basically provide the information and evidence to answer the who, what, where, how, and when questions regarding a crime. Okay, forensic science includes these specialty areas that you might also study in a criminal justice degree program. Okay, so these are biology, digital and multimedia science, engineering, entomology, odontology, pathology, physical anthropology, toxicology also. And finally, criminalists may testify in courts of law, educating the judge about the conclusions reached in the laboratory, of course. Criminologists teach jurors about the techniques they use to do like all the analysis on the results obtained in all the process of laboratory, okay? And of course the interpretations derive from their conclusions. Let's see all the related careers with this profession. Okay, so you also could be a blood spatter analyst, a computer forensic and investigator, crime lab analyst, crime scene investigator, a forensic accountant, a forensic anthropologist, forensic ballistic expert, forensic nursing, forensic psychologist, and forensic science technician. And finally, we're gonna see like the average salary of a criminalist. Okay? So one of the most common interests to become a criminalist in most of the time is how much you can earn, of course, with this profession. And as soon as you finish your bachelor's degree, in how much you can earn with some years of experience. So in Colombia, with a bachelor's degree, you can expect to earn between 1.5 million pesos, or if you do other type of courses, you can earn a little more than 1 million pesos as soon as you finish your bachelor's degree. In the other side, with some years of experience, you can like increase your salary, and you can earn approximately 2.5 million to 3 million pesos per month, of course. In this order of ideas, the population with a criminal title will earn an average of 2.5 million pesos with an employment rate of more than 70%. at the end of the studies. Doing the research of the degree that I like the most, I want to share with you some advantages that English brings to you and can give you with this specific degree. So let's start with when is the better time to study English, before, during, or after a professional degree? The after is what we normally see in the majority of professionals, who are always like leaving English in a second spot and not as a priority. Based on some studies, they have shown that the first thing or your priority after you graduate from a professional degree is to work, leaving English in a third spot. So this is not like the best option or the best decision that you can make in this case. Okay, studying English during the professional degree, it's what we must commonly see in people. Okay, so the mistake here is to leave it to the last semesters, given that you will be like focused on finishing your career, of course, and final projects and the things that you have to do in order to finish your career. So if you already start your professional career and you don't have a second language as it is English, it will be like a good choice to study like alternate from your career before the 5 to 6 semesters before your final project. Okay, so before studying a professional degree is the best option to learn a second language. At the beginning of the video, I explained to you all the benefits that English gives to you, but English being cataloged as the universal language gives you a lot of advantages, professional and laboral, of course. The younger you are, the easier it will be for you to learn English. Based on some studies, the perfect age to start studying a second language is between 8 and 12. So the perfect age for you to learn English will be before 18 to 21 years old. So let's see all the advantages of being a bilingual professional. So you will have like more job opportunities, higher salaries because of the lack of competency in the language, grow occupationally, and have the possibility to work and study and help the cost of the career that you will study. Okay, now let's talk about the salary with English. Having a good English level increases a third part of the salary of a professional and increases 50% of probability to find a good job in Colombia. In a first world country as United States, the income is high, and when you know two languages, they increase, of course. You could earn even $100,000 in a year. Okay, now let's see a salary of a criminalist or criminologist with English, which means in the United States or Canada. Having a career as criminology or criminalistic, the benefits are even higher. You could have excellent salaries, almost 3 times higher than what a Colombian person would earn in Colombia, just with English. And like the professional degree is good, and if you go to countries as the United States, the career is famous and well paid, adding that you already know Spanish. So here are some examples of a salary of a criminalist and criminologist in the United States and Canada. So first, in Canada, an entry-level criminalist from 1 to 3 years of experience earns an average salary of $55,654. And on the other hand, a senior level criminalist, which means to like have more than 8 years of experience, earns an average salary of $95,543.
Okay, in the United States, criminalists have a potential to earn very good salaries. According to Murcia 2020 BEL's report, forensic science technicians earn an average annual wage of $60,590, with wages ranking from $36,630 to $100,910 or more. Their average hourly wage is $19.30, And criminal investigators with another title of criminalists might hold and earn wages ranging from 46,020 to 125,000 with an average annual wage of 26,000 for.
Okay, so with this information, we can see that learning English brings us big economics, intellectual, and professional advantages. So this was it all for this time. I'll see you in the next one. So, bye.